Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 76, and today we will be doing our first gauntlet of the World Walker season. And so I don't have any like big and compelling strategies. I think the format is still way too wide open to be worrying too much about the kind of lineup that you're looking to bring. And so we just have kind of a generalist lineup today. But carrying along the key thing I think with at least with this format and the thing you should really be watching out for is our sun disk problem, right? The way that I always talked about battling the sun disk is you have to either be able to go through it with overwhelms, you have to be able to go around it with elusives, or you have to be able to rally. And so all three of our decks today will be featuring that idea. I think there's at least from where I've been playing on the ladder. There's just an exceptional amount of two things. There's a bunch of Bard decks, which are really good at just going wide. That is where we're looking to really attack with this. With this strategy of using either rallies or elusives or overwhelms, they tend to just flood out the board, and if you can't, punch through it, then you're just kind of screwed. You just never deal any damage. And so I think that's the big one. I think Bard is the one that we'll encounter quite a bit of. The other thing that we're seeing tons of on the ladder, at least in my experience, is a bunch of Illaoi decks. And so I prefer to have at least one way to kind of just deal with the single unit. We don't have the big removal spells here today, but all of our decks do feature either challengers or they feature bounce spells. And so we don't have a permanent and lasting solution, but we should be able to interact with it a little bit so that we could ignore it, right? the kind of a pantheon strategy, if you will. You just kind of do your best to push it out of the way and then continue on with your regular strategy. And so, with the three decks we're bringing today, the first one we're bringing is Bard Galio. This is very similar to the older Galio Poppy style decks that we played quite a bit. Has this great early game package of things that I really enjoy over here between the Fleet Feather Tracker, the Broadwing, and the Lart Protege, all as our challengers. The Durandi Sculptor to make them more powerful, and then the Brightsteel Protector to protect them in combat if they won't survive with the additional health. This makes it relatively easy to build up a fully wide board. And then with your board fully wide, you look to either take advantage of a 4 Demacia from the Vanguard Sergeant, you look to take advantage of a Galio boosting everyone and then flipping the next turn. And then you kind of cap everything off with the Golden Aegis. But where things get a little interesting these days is with the addition of Bard. Bard coming in and boosting all of our units as the game progresses is quite nice. The Bard ability combos well with Galio. Galio's bonus to the stats also levels up Bard, and then the additional stats from Bard slowly help level up our Galio. It doesn't double up on the Galio stats because the +1 attack isn't useful on all of our units, and Galio only cares about health, but it's another way to just kind of boost your general stat line to help things along. And so the only kind of new additions here, the only things that may seem a little strange, Esmos shouldn't seem strange. It basically appears in every Bard-based deck, but it does work quite nicely with all of our challengers. So our Broadwings, our Laurent Proteges, and our Fleet Feather Trackers are all extremely happy to have Esmuth coming down and boosting on the attack. And then the Silverwing Vanguard is the other kind of odd addition you would see these days. And the Vanguard getting the bonus stats from Bard, and then Bard's chimes doubling up whenever you play the Vanguard. It gives us a nice little late game punch with this style of deck. And so that's deck number one. We'll come back to Illaoi here. Deck number two is fairly similar in a way. We're going to be playing Yordles as our second deck. This is the Yordles plus Demacia version to get access to the Golden Aegis. Golden Aegis being the big addition here. But the problem that you end up having with Yordles, at least in my experience, is interactivity. It feels pretty bad if you're just trying to win through stats. Putting a bunch of stats on the board is rarely effective, and so we're adding in with the interactivity to pick up both the Fleet Feather Tracker and pick up the Petricite Broadwing. Both of those give us the interactivity we're looking for, and then they also combo quite well with Lulu. And so what I have found with this deck is you're really looking to flood the board quickly. You don't really want to be playing like a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop. you're not getting as much usage out of your Poppy if that's how you manage your curve. You would rather be playing, say, like a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and then a 1 and a 2 on turn 3. And then on turn 4, you drop your Poppy. So you get that additional unit in there. So with this, we're only playing 2 copies of Yordle Captain. And 1 copy of Yordle Ranger is the top end so that we can help push things down lower. The only other things you might take note out of this, Bird the Bell Ringer is in here. This is our only Chime-based unit. That's completely fine. This bonus to the unit, the card in your hand has become quite strong. I've been pretty happy with Bird across the board. We're down here playing the new card and Paparo the Great. He works fantastically in here, just boosting all of our other Yordles and then generating another card while he's at it. And so we do have a nice boosting suite of the Paparo, the Yordle Explorer, the Yordle Captain, and then Poppy to give the bonus attack to all of our units across the board. The other strange thing you might notice is the Demacian Tellstones. This is for... probably 75% of the time to generate for Demacia, but we also find some useful times to where we might need to put a prismatic barrier onto Poppy, or we need to generate the detain. This is one of these places as to where we're so interested in just spending all of our mana on the first 4 and 5 turns of the game to just get these units on board with the stats that we don't really care about paying the extra mana for the Tellstone, but the versatility in this thing is huge. And so we don't have the space to play Vanguard Sergeant and then play a Concerted Strike and then play an additional Sharp Sight. We're only playing 2 Sharp Sights, 2 Rangers Resolves. And so the utility out of the Tellstones has been quite nice. Not seeing a ton of this one running around. And then the last deck we'll be partying with is Mono Illaoi. This is, as I've often talked about with the Tentacle and Illaoi, you have to either find one of those key things, right? You have to give it the Overwhelm, you have to give it Elusive, or you have to give it Rallies. And with this deck, we have access to all of it, right? That's kind of one of the fun things about this is we are playing big into the Tentacles. We're going to be trying to protect the Tentacles with these Ionia cards between Syncopate, Twin Disciplines, Memory Cloak, Deny, Spirit's Refuge. All these are fantastic to protect the Tentacle with. And then we're going to try and pull off a big OTK turn. We're playing the Sea's Voice, of course, but he's a way to give the Tentacle Overwhelm. We're playing Ghost as the means to give either the Tentacle or Illaoi Elusive. It tends to be Elusive on the Tentacle, and then Illaoi has Overwhelm, so she just doesn't need the Elusive, but the option is there. And then we're playing Blood in the Water as our rally option. Kind of up in the air between either Buru War Leader to get the free attack with the Tentacle, or the Blood in the Water to get the free attack with all of our units. If you get the rally, you get the free attack with everything, right? But here today, we're bringing Blood in the Water as opposed to the other unit. And so, with that being that, let's get ourselves into the game. We do have to pay the price. That's the only reason we make it to Masters in each season is we pay to win. And so today we're going to be paying the pay-to-win price on Esmus. Get that premium common out here. So glad the new cards came out. Just give us a little something new to pay to win with so we don't have to upgrade champions every day. And it feels pretty good. So let's jump on in. Oh, not Astral Sight. I favorited all the decks so they'd be a little easier to find. Oops, we forgot Teemo. Broadwing with attack power. And here we go. Let's see who turns up here today. Oh, gotta push more buttons. There we go. All right, what do we have here? We have the Darkness deck. We have some kind of stun deck with Yasuo Leona, and then I'm not sure if this is going to be some kind of Tri-Beam Ezreal or if it's going to actually be a trap deck. That's a little odd to me to see these line up like this. I think if it's the traps, we're just completely okay with it. All of our challengers really handle the traps well, but I think that's more likely going to be some kind of like Tri-Beam Improbulator. Well, I don't know. He has Bandle City in his deck. Maybe he is playing traps. He's got Bandle City Noxus he's got Bandle City PNZ instead of PNZ Noxus. And so I bet that is a traps deck. Let's just ban out the Darkness. I'm pretty happy to play against the Stuns deck with anything. And then the Teemo Puffcaps deck we should be able to reasonably handle with the challengers out of our Poppy deck. And so I'm just going to start with Illaoi. I think having the denies and stuff, I would rather have access to Illaoi against both of his decks, and I just feel a little bit more comfortable with the other one. All right, let's get her in here to battle. Don't really like having to keep hands like this. Like we were really looking to get the 1-drop Tentacle Maker or just have something going on early. But if we have to mulligan too hard and don't find anything until this turn 4 Illaoi comes down, it's pretty painful for us to deal with. And so let's just wait. It's pretty tempting to get the hired gun down now, but I think we'll be safe enough to just bank our mana here. Didn't pick up a Tentacle Maker. A little unfortunate. He's just going to send it back to us. Interesting. All right. We can get the Answered Prayer down. Where are you at? Spawn 4? If he sends it back to our hand, it's not great. But maybe we just spawn 2 and see if we can't get a Deny down or something. Wonder if he's going to drop like a Concussive Palm. That would be pretty painful if we didn't have the Deny mana. Okay, I'm good to drop the hired gun now, I think. This leaves us in the space to where we'll still have Syncopate mana banked up for next turn. And if we need to Syncopate an Illaoi out of a bad combat or something, we can do it fairly easily. Let's just wait. I don't feel like we need to get the hired gun really involved here. Might be good to try and block a like 7 attack Blade Twirler on his next attack. No, thank you. No, thank you, friend.
Underestimate. I dare you.
All right. Now, is he going to have another stun? That's the question of the day here. That feels like a little dangerous to me. Let's just take the spawn onto the Tentacle and then send Illaoi in free. If he's got a Steel Tempest here, it sucks a whole lot. Or even if he has something like a Pale Cascade. I don't know what all the Targon stuff does, but if he has a Pale Cascade to take down Illaoi, that would be pretty bad as well. The Steel Tempest. Sure. So that would have been pretty painful had he been able to Steel Tempest the Tentacle and then just kill Illaoi with the Blade Twirler. We should be okay now. We have a Spirit's Refuge to block if we feel a little uncomfortable with this thing. I mean, you could realistically just take it.
First light illuminates the land. Sunlight blinds.
Alright, that's not so bad. He's out of mana now, so we don't have to worry too much about his board. I think we have to hired gun. A hired gun is able to just block the Blade Twirler. He's just going to attack right now. I would like to get the Sea's Voice on board, but it's going to be too slow to block. Right, we have to block this Blade Twirler.
Feel the sun's glory. Not my first gunfight.
Okay. Not horrible. Now we have lots of options for the next turn. We're definitely going to be opening. Definitely going to hook the Blade Twirler with the Sea Voice. But let's see how it goes with the rest of these. Looks like a pretty decent turn. Would expect some kind of either a stun or a recall to come at us, but we have the deny if it's either of those. Concussive Palm or a Homecoming. I'd happily just deny. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, get them flips, girl. Looking good, looking good. Sure. I think we're good. Should be pretty tough for him to get enough stuff on board to kill us here. Now, with even just a single Spirit's Refuge.
Breaks on the battlefield. Behold the sun's holy light. Take the high ground.
Okay. Concussive Palm. Sure.
The dragon lives. Walk softly, strike quickly.
Only end up taking 3. Not a bad day at the office. Okay, so let's see where it gets us. We're gonna probably just lead off with the eye. I was gonna say unless we draw Nagakaboros. It's I think it's just too slow. Alright, let's draw and see what we find. Maybe we'll hit a deny, syncopate's big, blood in the water is big. Okay, I'm pretty happy with everything that turned out there.
Test yourself. Witness truth.
Only coming at him for 32. Not that bad. Not that bad.
Sneaky. Don't want any trouble.
Okay, this is we can push the tentacle out of combat here, or I mean, realistically, we could just look to go for blood in the water. Oh, he's just lethal. Never mind. Let's just not play any cards. Let's just take the win while we can get it. GG.
Look and see the glory of Nagakaboros.
The glory of Nagakaboros. All right. Oh man, the deck tracker. I don't know. I'll stop this and see if I can upgrade it or something. I saw in the LOR Master Discord that they fixed it. It said they fixed something. I don't know. Something got fixed, and so I don't know if that means we'll get the upgraded tooltips on the deck tracker now, so it doesn't have all of those like question marky kind of cards. And we'll see if we can fix that for the next set of games. All right, up against the Teemo deck. And so, yeah, I suspect it's odd to me seeing Ezreal in this, but I assume that we're going to be playing against Puffcaps. I don't know. He has 3 copies of Caitlyn, and so it's tough to tell. All right, now this is kind of an odd spot. I think we have to get rid of the Ranger's Resolve here. It's like I don't quite want to get rid of Lulu, but we don't want this kind of disaster happening to where we don't have a unit to play on the second turn. And so we took maximum opportunities to pick up our card, but this is not what you're trying to do. This is why we're only playing 2 copies of the Yordle Captain and 1 of the Ranger. Really want to spend all 6 of our mana, or if you're going to have the Ranger's Resolve, it's fine if you get a good one, and then go like one drop, 3 drop. It's kind of okay, but picking up all of these, literally all of the 4 drops in our deck, it's fairly painful. Sure. What you got? Poppy. This is painful. Now the 2 drops show up. Don't think we can block this with Lulu. It's like if he's hanging out on Mystic Shot mana, then it's just like such a bad thing. Like if we get to attack with a Lulu and then trade with the Puffcat Pup and a Mystic Shot, it's fine. But him getting to keep the unit's pretty disastrous.
A quest? Leave it to me.
Hot on the trail.
Okay. I feel like we're gonna lose our Lulu here, or we're gonna lose something, right? He's gonna have a block plus a removal spell, but that's okay. We'll still have our growth style units. Yep.
make a protocol.
I think that's okay. Like, given the way our board is shaped up, I think I'm rather have the Yordle captain. It's slightly awkward with Poppy, given that she sometimes needs to grow to 4/4 to boost our other units, but it's fine.
Time for a true display of skill. Welcome to the team.
Let's investigate.
Okay, just gonna take this. We'll let him have like the juicier target for the Bell Ringer and the Mystic Shot, but he hasn't done so much right now
Follow me. I know where.
that I'm worried about getting killed by Puff Caps. Then we'll have a pretty decent attack next turn. Right, so assuming he's gonna Mystic Shot the Bell Ringer, next turn we'll get to Yordle Explorer with +2/+2. Then we'll get to play Poppy with +3/+2, and then she'll get to boost everything else. Looks pretty reasonable. Who'd you boost? You boosted yourself, Peraro.
Exploration and exportation.
Those Mystic Shots not looking so hot. They gotta go face now.
Rule 102.
Oh, he's got a Yordle.
Perfect. I just know the hero's around here somewhere.
Don't worry. A quest is the best way to find a hero.
All right, pretty strong attack coming in. He's gonna take the 4/4 onto Yordle Captain, I'm sure, but otherwise, his blocks are booty.
Manners?
What's this guy even do? This thing is pretty scary, right? Plant Puff Caps, sure, but then traps are doubled.
You're between me and glory.
He hangs on to Ezreal. Sure. We're in a reasonable enough spot for next turn. Like, we don't need to 4 Demacia ever, right? We're getting so much boosting out of our Captain and Poppy and Yordle Explorer that it's not that big of a deal. But this is the kind of space to where picking up the detain for Ezreal could be kind of useful. I'm not, like, worried about Ezreal here. We can take the 1, and he's never just going to Mystic Shot any of our units down. But if he plays a Teemo here, we have to be a little worried of that.
Vandal Scouts recruit Ava.
This is something we should consider. We can still play Conchologist and have the mana to detain if we need to. Getting Scout is kind of interesting. It could work with Paporo, but then he's probably just going to die to the Ava Achiever. Take the Refrain, it's fine.
Cumbrous await below.
Okay. Interesting. So he's out of mana now. Surprised he didn't try to attack with Ezreal to get the other one. Nice. We hit a 2-drop. We're pretty good at this game. Learn from the master, everyone. Learn from the master.
Watch and learn.
Maybe he was just worried about sharp sight or something, but I think he's to the point to where he just has to have something go right. So I'm really surprised to see that he played that Mystic Shot.
Always prepared.
Yeah, will most definitely block the Achiever.
Are you ready? Let's take it for a spin.
Excellent. Such size on the Yordle, such mass and grace. Uh-oh. Surprised we didn't lose a unit. Ready, set, slam. Got him. This is more than our tentacle attacks were. This was neg 36 coming in. GG. Alright, good job, Yordles. Good job.
I got lucky. You'll get me next time.
We didn't get lucky. Whoever that was, Lulu or Poppy. I think that's a Poppy voice line saying that we got lucky. GG. Alright, got the next version of the tracker. Let's get to it. Yeah, let's see if I get sweaty in here. It's getting hot. Wife fucked up the thermostat yesterday. It's like, I think I fixed it, but I don't know. I think you just got to get a new one. It's like you feel really bad. You have to like call up a professional to come in and be like, I don't know, dude. I have degrees and stuff. I'm a professional. I'm an engineer by trade. Can't figure out a fucking thermostat. My wife pushed a button and now it doesn't work anymore. And so, can you just install a new one? Jesus. But all right, what are we up against here? I think we'll probably just ban Yumi Pantheon. That's historically been a fairly bad match for these stat slash challenger based decks. I don't know what No Champion Freylord Bandle City is. I assume that that's probably something to do with the Iceborne Legacy, but I'm not familiar what this No Champion deck is. You usually see it be like Freylord for Iceborne Legacy, or you see it be like a Noxus Shadow Isles burn kind of thing. And then with Annie, I'm kind of okay with that. I don't feel like Annie Swain is the way to go. I think you're probably looking to play like Annie Gnar, Annie Ziggs, and be more control-y. But nonetheless, we'll see what he's bringing. I'm not sure why it's Annie Swain plus Freylord, what that last card is going to be. If it's just the playing like Three Sisters and then playing a Tusk Speaker or something. I don't know. But we're starting with Illaoi. I like it. Please don't disintegrate her. That'd be a bad day at the office, just getting disintegrated. Would not approve. We gonna work? We gonna play some games today? What's up with this riot? You only give me like 2.5 days of Gauntlet, and I had to miss one of them for Memorial Day, so it would be cool if we got to play the games. Let me just restart the whole thing, and maybe that'll fix it. All right. Seems like opponent failed to connect. Is that maybe he didn't? Maybe he didn't restart fast enough. Oh, cool, excellent. We've got the new deck tracker though, and there's Nagakaboros down here at the bottom, and so excellent. All right. Well, I guess we win that one. Hopefully, opponent comes back. I just want to play some games today. Yeah, speaking of the Memorial Day, I can always give you my great tips if you're looking to have the foods to bring. I've always preached for these family style events as you're getting older. Like, yeah, we don't have a bunch of fucking teenagers watching this channel. No teenager wants to listen to some boomer out here spitting out shit about what food to bring to Memorial Day. But I've talked extensively about the deviled eggs. That's like my thing. That's what I bring. If you're going to make them, then you're just going to get upset because someone else brought a better version of the deck to the tournament than you did. And so one of the things I found here for Memorial Day, it's very easy. This is very easy for you. Take note if you need a dish to bring. You get a pound of pasta. You get one of those bags of spring greens. You get a jar of pesto. You get a jar of roasted red peppers. And then you get one of those like fancy balls of mozzarella cheese. You cut it all up and mix it all together, and you're done. It's a pasta salad. Has a vegetable in it. It's very fucking tasty because whoever invented pesto needs a high five. And that is my hot tip of the day. Don't show up to your Memorial Day cookout with a fucking bag of Doritos. I guess showing up with a bag of Doritos is better than showing up with nothing, but we're better than that. You tune into the FTP Bus channel. I teach you how to adult like a real one. Real adulting going on here today. It's good. It was a hit. People said, "Bust, you make the best dishes," and I said, I know, I do. Fucking choice. All right. Well, where are we getting at now? We don't have great attacks into this Disciple. Paparo is kind of interesting. Can boost the whole squad with him. It's like I don't want to play Yordle Captain. He's a little bit too slow. But the Paparo here And then next turn, getting to Yordle Captain plus Conchologist or Conchologist plus Golden Aegeus. I think I like it. Now, the thing with Paparo is he... we need to do it like this. That should give everything the bonuses, right? Paparo doesn't get it. Oh. Fine, dude. Does that work how we want? Not really. I don't want to lose our Paparo here. I guess he's the important one. Alright. If he puts a damage or two onto Lulu, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Was not expecting Death Lotus on the day, but sure. Still looking pretty strong here. I'm gonna have an Ice Shard to follow up with. Okay. Just trying to like decide if we're gonna be able to Golden Aegeus next turn. I don't think we're going to. I think we're gonna have to drop a Yordle Captain, drop a Conchologist, and see if we can't get an open. Like if we Conchologist into Heroic Refrain, then we have some interesting options for a strong open next turn. Fuck off, Swain. Oh, I did that thing again where I just count my mana in total and think we could play all the units with it. Not the way that works. If he actually brings it with Swain, I'm pretty tempted to block with the Yordle Smith. It's like he thought better of it. Conchologist. Okay, I'm going to go with the Prowling Projectile out of this. Gives us a close to lethal off of an attack, or with everything having quick attack from the Yordle Smiths, we have a pretty reasonable expectation that we can get a good quick attack kill with it onto Swain. I don't know how hard we're going to get boomed here. It's like I've seen some of these Annie decks playing Gauntlet. Okay. Oh my gosh, are we gonna get Death Lotus with this guy on the board? We can prevent it with Tough. All right, Yordle Smith. Little worried about what's about to come at us, but it's either got to be Death Lotus or it's got to be Ice Shard, right? And we can get out of both of those. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh god, my emotes are fucked up. Oh no. Ice Shard. Uh-oh. It's only got 3 mana. These can't be that scary. I'm curious what the upcoming card is. Because there's 2, right? Oh, Ravenous Flux, okay. We're short on lethal that way. Okay. Man, I was really surprised to see us get answered here. Alright, so we just have to deal with this Swain now. Have the Golden Aegeus for next turn, as long as he doesn't get too crazy on us. We psychoed out the Ranger's Resolve directly for another Ranger's Resolve. Well, I'm not gonna take this damage. We're gonna block. FYI, block incoming. 0-2 and regenerate. All right. Could not care less. I'm going to give the boost to the Arena Bookie. Ideally, we'll have a unit to block Swain with, and if he has a Death's Hand, he can kill off our 2-attack unit and get rid of our barrier. So, don't want to try and stop that if we can. All right, dude. I'm playing some cards. Uh-oh. ready for combat now. I feel like I can hear some cats freaking out in the background. Yeah. I finally did it. I got the hole cut in the wall, so that we could do the kitties in the basement. We're trying to put the shit box into the cat's basement, but I don't have a way to. There's like no direct access there. You have to like walk into the garage and then go through another door to get in the basement. And we don't want the cats out in the garage. And so the solution was to cut a hole in the wall, and then we put like a kitty tunnel in the wall between the wall and the basement. And then I got a kitty tree yesterday to give them like an entrance out of the wall into the basement, because it's like 5 foot or so off the ground. And so they've been investigating. They've been checking out the basement and seeing what's going on in there. And I feel like they, there's that choke point now, right? Typically, if the kitties encounter each other, there's a way out. But that's like the concern now. Like what we ran into this morning is one of my cats just likes to hang out down there. I don't know why. Maybe she likes the peacefulness. There's not fucking kids running around. There's not other cats around. There's a nice fresh kitty tower to hang out on. And so my wife said that cat was just hanging out. And then another one started to like crawl through the tunnel. And she got like halfway through the tunnel, realized that there was a cat just hanging out. And then she freaked the fuck out. And so it's gonna take him a bit of time to figure out how to navigate that. And then I've got to get another cat tower. The solution to everything is just more cat towers, right? I feel like the one we got isn't the very top level and the next level are reasonable, but there's not like a good jumping point from that one to the ground. And so I've got to get another mid-level tower so that the cats have a place to jump down. But all right, what is Vikwitor doing here? We've got looks like dragons with Jarvan here in the middle. I would assume Shyvana plus Targon is a dragons-based deck. I think I'm okay going stat for stat against that kind of thing. Mono, Riven, Swain, or what should be the kind of control decky thing down here in Lux. I think we're just going to ban out the Lux. Although, it's like, I don't imagine this Noxus deck is going to be playing a lot of things like Scorched Earths and Disintegrates. And so let's just take the Lux out. Start with Illaoi again. All right. I do talk a fair bit of trash about these cats. Some of them are fucking dumb. 2 of the 3 are just dumb. The one cat of mine is smart and stuff, but the other cats are just fucking dumb. And so I love the little fellas. I do talk a fair amount of trash, but I hope it at least comes across whenever I talk about all these dumb shit cat towers we get for them and everything, that I do actually appreciate and enjoy the kitties. They are wonderful. All right, where do we find ourselves here? I would like to get this Green Glade Lookout down. I have to wait and see. If opponent just passes, I feel like we're better at this game than they are. And so we'll just pass as well. Now see if we can't get set up a little bit for Illaoi. I feel good with the Lookout, the Answered Prayer, and the Syncopation here. Okay. With that coming down, I think it's fairly safe to say opponent is playing dragons. Not entirely sure if they would have a play here. It's like, maybe we should have gone ahead and attacked with the Lookout, but I mean, that was a burst spell, right? They could have just, if they're going to play like a Ruined Dragon Guard, they could have played the Dragon Guard and then burst the thing or something. I think we're probably safe to get the extra 2 damage in. I don't remember how this works. If the Illaoi makes her cost 1 less, And then does that transfer over to the Tentacle Smash? I don't think it does. But would be good to know. I'm just planning on ignoring the Shyvana for now. We can try and Tentacle Smash her down next turn. Is that where we want to go? We have a couple of options here. We can burst down the Eye of Nagakaboros to get our Illaoi boosted and the Tentacle boosted at burst speed. Otherwise, we're just looking to play... well... I'd like to get out of that. I think that's going to change things for us. Okay, well, the at least answered our question. The Tentacle Smash didn't reduce in cost. So it's fairly tough now. Like I felt safe when we had the Syncopate, but now that we don't have it, let's let this guy spend some mana first. If this just goes to next turn, and we overbank 3, I'm okay with that. Again, I think we do a better job of this than they do. But if we need to come out here and like try and protect with a deny or something, I want to have that option. So this is interesting. We can... I think the option here is not to play deny, but to play Spirit's Refuge. And then we should get a free attack in this turn. Could have like a Sharp Sight to make things a little bit awkward, but I think this is okay. She's going to become a 5/6, and then we'll have 2-3 attack units to... Oh, hang on, that's a little off. You don't get to attack. Okay.
Break them.
And Jarvan. Awesome. Okay, and so then the Shyvana's going to flip as well. Alright. Pretty brutal. I don't know if we can come back with this one. As things worked out a little too awkwardly. It's like we need to get the tentacles on board, but the Tentacle Smash isn't big enough to handle any of these things. So Shyvana will fall to 5/5 next turn. Okay, let's bank up the mana and see what happens. Will of Ionia. These attacks are so bad. Let's see if we can't get away with something. If we can't just get a decent Will of Ionia out of this turn and send Shyvana back to his hand, maybe get a trade with Jarvan. Okay, that piece at least works out nicely. And then we'll see if we can't push Jarvan in front of the Tentacle with the Syncopate. Oof. Jarvan blocks Illaoi. Do we just let it happen? Right? I think I'm okay with that. That's a little different. Alright. He's going to flip off that as well. Alright. Is it possible for us to make any sadder noises? I think that's something we need as well. Just some more sad noises in general. Oh, we did get to flip. Interesting. Well, I mean, a Tentacle Smash is going to be a 7/7 onto Shyvana now. All right. Keep Illaoi back for the moment. In case something goes wrong, I want to be able to play a different one. Especially if she's able to flip here. Okay. Well, he's out of mana now, and we do have this giant unit. So maybe we'll get a separate Tentacle Smash or something on this turn. Like, we can safely ignore the Shyvana attack. I think this is actually okay. You just spent a lot of mana on that play. Right? She's an 8-9. So we'll just slam Jarvan with our 10-10 Tentacle. And we should be pretty decent next turn. Illaoi's going to be huge. We have a Deny and a Memory Cloak, so if he's going to try and interact with single combats or concerted strikes or whatever, we're pretty good there. We might be okay. And we have a rally in hand. Nothing better than having a rally. This is one of these spots where it's interesting, right? Having the card for the tentacle wouldn't be as good. So. All right, let's see where that gets us. Seems good. I don't know. I don't know if you all did the mathematics on how good this seems, but it does seem good. Heal card. Okay. Excellent. That's how you do it. Demacia doesn't forget about this. It's a massive Illaoi. Only coming in for 42 on this attack. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, Nagakaboro smiled upon that. GG. Man, I thought that game was done. Oh, that's pretty sweet. It was just so awkward in there. We couldn't find a good place to get any of our tentacle smashes going, and so I didn't think we were ever going to get it. But man, just gotta bide your time every once in a while. All right, and then our first showing with the Bard deck. I thought that was interesting, as you can't pick like the order your decks show up, at least to the best of my knowledge. I don't think we picked them in this order. Maybe we did, but our first two opponents just banned whatever was on the left, and so that was one of the things that I kind of saw a lot in our previous Gauntlet videos. Was people would just ban whatever was on the left, and so. I wanted to kind of play into that a little bit if we could, but I don't remember if it shows them in the order, or if because Bard starts with alphabetically in front of everyone else, if he's the left deck or not. So gonna do this again. Come on, Riot, get your shit together. All right, let me restart the game. All right, well, maybe that didn't fix it. It's still just stuck on loading. Worked last time, and the game made a noise. I wonder, is this what happened in the APAC seasonals? I'm curious. I never completely caught what happened there. Opponent failed to connect. Wow. I know that with the APAC seasonals, they had that thing to where they just had to cancel everything and they restarted around and had delays and stuff. Well, I guess that got us to the final battle. That guy probably didn't want me giving out any pro tips. He's got his own blog out there. He didn't want me talking about my world famous recipes, giving them to the masses. I mean, I've thought about making a food blog before. It's like you can't copyright a recipe. You can only copyright like the shit that you talk about and everything. And so you could be able to just like basically go and copy all the recipes. like cook it because I'm going to cook it anyways, then take a few pictures of it, write some bullshit story, and put that at the top, and then just load up Google AdSense with fucking annoying mode and see what happens. Because it's not a recipe unless you have a story about people's children, like a dog, a trip to Myrtle Beach or the Hamptons or whatever, and then like 6 or 7 just like video ads on there. But all right, nonetheless, this is a pretty standard lineup from the previous season. I'm going to just ban the Trundlemere deck out of here. This is the one, it's going to be running AoEs, and that is something that works quite well against both the Bard deck and the Poppy deck. And so we'll do battle against Darkness, we'll do battle against Sundisk, both of those are fine. But I want to cancel out the AoEs if we can. And ideally here, I think we would want to be taking Illaoi up against the Sundisk. The Sundisk should really struggle with what we're presenting. And so, cool, we got that matchup. That's not going to work, though. You need something to do. There's a little bit more of something to do. Now, the downside with this against our, the way that things kind of evolved against the Sundisk deck, where we figured out the overwhelm, elusive, rally thing, which both of our decks do, but then the Sundisk decks all adopted Quicksand, and Quicksand was extremely good at denying that like single unit approach to where you're trying to say load up a Victor, load up a Riven, load up a Fizz, and then somebody figured out the attach, and we don't have that kind of attach methodology here to try and stop them. Should not have played this hired gun. I was in a bit of story mode there. I think we should have just passed, but I do want to start getting in the damage here wherever we can. Like, we're definitely the aggro in this one. We gotta win before the movie starts. Alright, well, he has not interacted well with what we're doing. Definitely gonna answered prayer here and then drop a Illaoi. I'm really regretting playing that hired gun now. I really wish we were in a space to where we could twin disciplines next turn. This Waking Sands is going to be annoying. Then there are some times where you want to take a strategy of just we would let this Treasure Seeker live, and we would count on solely Illaoi and the Tentacle to get the damage done. But he hasn't really pieced together this go wide strategy, right? He hasn't dropped any ruinous paths or anything, or he doesn't have just a bunch of early cheap plays. So I don't think we need to pursue that at this point. We can deal with Waking Sands to a degree. Like, Waking Sands doesn't kill Illaoi. Our Tentacle will be a 6/6, right? It'll turn to 5/5 at round start, 6/6 with the Illaoi attack. So the block isn't good. Does take away our Tentacle Smash options, though. Ooh, with a rally? It is pretty tempting now just to slam in for 7, but I think if we play Illaoi, he has to drop Waking Sands, and then we can just choose to not attack if we want. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So even if he the thing that would be weak for us here is if he blocks Illaoi and then gets the Sarcophagus and then plays the 4 damage slow spell to take her down and still have the unit behind. But with the additional Illaoi in hand, I feel a little bit safer here. And he's just getting actual nugged, and so this is pretty decent. Oh, that's good. That's the sauce right there. still would much rather have access to this twin disciplines than have the hired gun on board. But I think we're going to look pretty good with this blood in the water. Yep, we do. He doesn't have any quicksand mana here, so he's going to get blasted by Illaoi. That's very suspicious. Like, we could have taken a block there to get Illaoi flipped in the middle of combat. That I don't know. Like, that's one of those things to where, like, you'll see it in Magic, or at least I used to see it fairly frequently, to where your opponent goes like, "Oh fuck," and then just like spews out a play that doesn't make any sense. Like, I think that's what just happened to us. Was like he saw this coming and was like, "Oh fuck, I don't know what to do now," and so I'm just going to attack. But if he had like a shaped stone, then that was going to be just like horrifically bad for us to lose our tentacle. And like as you can see with this board here, if we get this attack in, he does something to protect himself, and then we get to open the next turn, we're probably winning that game. And so, all right. Get this Galio Bard back out here. I think Galio Bard should be decent against the Sun Disc. It's not like a purely like hate on this style deck, but it's got the rally options in it, which is always pretty important. Reasonable enough curve. Maybe we should get rid of the Fleet Feather Tracker out of this, but it's like if we need to like stop and interact at any point, or if we need to play a cheap play plus something else instead of a Protege, then it starts to fit in nicely. We drew our single copy of Vanguard Redeemer. With this, it's like I want like a bit of card draw, right? The Bard just like builds up and builds up and builds up. And as you get to the mid game, you're much more likely to draw charms, right? At this early stage, the density isn't very high. As the mid and late game progress, our deck should be more dense with the charms as we both load our deck with more charms, and as we have less cards in our deck to attach them to, we should just be more likely to draw them. But it's tough to get kind of like the exact numbers of the things in here that we want. He's got a rock hopper. Our charms did not land well here. We really wanted to play Esmith this turn, but we're still strong. I mean, the Protege's, it's not bigger than Azir, but it's bigger than everything else in his deck. So we can have some awkward plays here. I don't really want to attack into the Sarcophagus Maker, but everything else will be okay. Waking Sands, that's fine. Come on, bud. You want to hang out for the last game? Maybe the last game? One of these dumb cats I was talking about. Come on. Come on, bud. You can be on the YouTube. Nope. He's not going to hang out. But I can assure you this guy's fun move is like him and another one of my cats like learn to like do the hand wave when they want pets. And so they'll come up and they'll like sit down in front of you, and then they'll start doing this with one of their paws, and that means like, hey, stupid ass human, start fucking petting me. And so he's learned about the move from my other cat, my smart cat. But the thing he likes to do is he'll like come in while you're asleep in the morning and decide that that's when he wants pet. And so it'll be like super, super early. And he like does it. He does the little thing, but then he does it with his claws. And it does not feel fantastic. So he's not being mean. He's not trying to like scratch you out of fear or anger or whatever. But man, It is it sucks. It does not feel good. Alrighty, back to the action here. We're starting to get loaded up on stats. We can punch through pretty healthily here. All right, so we're just gonna load up this Vanguard Redeemer. It's not quite capable. Like it's gonna run into issues actually getting a card draw, and it's probably just gonna get blocked every turn. But we can clear out his board pretty easily, and hopefully he can't just like refill. He doesn't really seem to have like a refill style ability here. Got these 4/3 birds coming into action. Maybe he'll just play Xerath. He plays Xerath. Say, okay. Oh, he did it. He did it. Oh, man. I don't think I can recommend that one. Why would he play Xerath? Huh. All right. He's going to have... Oh, an hourglass. Okay, sure. Don't approve of those kind of things. Alright, this Vanguard Redeemer is going to be huge, but we're not going to get to draw any cards with it. Little sad day for you. Maybe he'll attack, right? Maybe he'll attack with the Clockling. Bard is interesting, though. He's probably not going to be able to drop any of the chimes on the board this turn. This is a little unfortunate, but right when he's flipped and you draw the charms and the chimes and the chimes hit your dudes in play, that would be useful here. And Azir. Movie Part 1. So where do we stand in terms of the Xerath, right? He's at 2 of 4 landmarks. And so we might have to watch the movie if we drop one of these units. I think we have to just pass. Let's see. I guess, well... Oh. Oh. That's a move. Let's see what happens here. We get to take down one of his blockers. Get to get rid of the Broadwing. Now we can add the Vanguard Redeemer, draw a card. Maybe we hit another unit. My concern is, can we realistically deal 15 damage off of an open next turn? And so we've got like 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. If we hit a unit, we're close. It'll be 2 away. I think we're probably going to run into a quicksand, though. But if we draw a unit here, maybe. Galio's kind of interesting. Galio gives us an option to win on the next turn. So it's like we play Galio, then he gets to play Xerath. Then he pops his Sundisk. Oh, the Sundisk won't pop until next turn, though. Okay.
Come on, then. Let's get to fighting.
Just a golden ambassador. All right.
Our prosperity and loyalty belongs to you.
We will not hesitate.
Something like this. So he has to block Galio. And then we can't deal enough damage otherwise, right? This +1 damage from Esmuth isn't going to be enough. Then we have 41 health on board. So the kind of the idea with this is hopefully we can go into the next round. We'll get a. Oh, he just doesn't even block. Okay, I was like, hopefully we'll go into the next round, and then with the Galio on board, as soon as he's able to get a flip, then we'll be able to just rally and win the game. That was the kind of idea with that play. So, GG's. Maybe he just like drew a Zir off of his Golden Ambassador or something. But Prime Glory, there it is. Not a bad set of games with these, and we can pull up the decks a little bit. Again, like I didn't go into this. There's like two things initially, right? I didn't go into this with a really big Gauntlet strategy. I just went with what I think are good decks at this point. Things I've been having a good run with on the ladder, and then just banning out what we think the most problematic deck is. That like I'm still not like entirely convinced. Like I started to feel a little bit better about seasonals after the fact. Like the thing that we run into on the ladder is it's so super varied that it's hard to meta against anything, and so you just have to play a deck that's like generally good. There's not a whole lot of tuning a specific deck or bringing kind of counter decks because you just don't see the archetypes enough, and that kind of like bleeds over into seasonals. And I felt like a little bit bad about the strategy that we brought and just trying to choose to beat Pantheon and let opponents keep Pantheon and play 3 decks that are good against Pantheon. And then we played, like, granted, like 1 or 2 of our losses were to like Pantheon Talia lineups, which was kind of miserable since that's what we were setting out to beat. But seeing some of like the meta reports and things after the fact, I felt a little bit better about it. But seasonals is kind of a different beast than you would see in Gauntlet, and I think in Gauntlet you can't really prepare to expect to see specific lineups and such. And so here's the kitty. He's the dumbass that claws me in the morning. But we ran into that like dangerously and problematically at the height of the Sundisk meta. We were playing some lineups intent on just beating the Sundisk every time we saw it, and we would go through all of the matches without seeing it then throughout the entirety of the Gauntlet. And so that's kind of awkward and tough to be around, but it leads you towards just kind of playing the good card strategies. And so is what it is. We still need some more experience in those terms. But with these decks, the other thing I wanted to mention is I do prefer to play decks that I've made videos for. But it's tough here at the beginning of the season. And so ideally, we would be playing 3 decks that I could point you to a different video of, to where we have kind of gameplay guides for that deck. But when the new cards come out, there's just not enough time to do that. And I can't, play all of these decks fast enough. And so some of these we'll be seeing here in the immediate future. I'm looking to circle back to some of these ideas, but all 3 of these decks you should be seeing in the upcoming times. And so if you enjoyed it, you should be getting a little bit more of it. We don't get to showcase them as much here as we would like, but that's the way life goes sometimes. But nonetheless, I think all these decks are pretty good. They all need some like tweaks and stuff, and we'll get into those into the individual videos. But if you do want to copy the deck codes and just run straight into the ladder, you should have something here that you could have a bit of success with. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned to hit those gauntlets in the new world a little bit better. Oh, excuse me. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.